is how I sharpen a 40-40 and a 50-50. Here's a gauge, very tough to make this is. So this is 50 degrees included from the axis of the gouge to the bevel. But you start off with the gouge so that the side of the flute is horizontal. It is parallel to this surface. Bring it up to the tape and just very slightly rock it. You then reverse it and do the same thing on the other side. And then, you can't do this with it sitting there, you can then swing it all the way around. To do a 40-40, you just move this table to 40 degrees with your highly clever gauge and you go to the other lines. Okay? Now, a 50-50 being a blunter gouge is great for inside curves. I find this one of the easiest grinds to use. Alright, so the piece we're going to work on is a piece of sandbat, and I have cut this so it is approximately 6 inches long, 3 inches wide, 2 inches high. Making it 3 by 3 by 6, I tried it. It didn't look right proportionately, so I've cut it a bit thinner. If you haven't got the machinery I've got, then shove it on the chuck and take it down with your tool to the right thickness. So I'm going to use the worm screw, the screw chuck I mean, sorry. I've already got the hole drilled in it. It's that plug guy again. Now, so you drill the prescribed hole, the right depth. Right. So, that's tight up against the jaw faces. Now, because we got the hole for the worms, the screw chuck, that's obviously going to be the side with the hole in it, isn't it? So this becomes the underside. So, what we have to do here is carve in and back. And this is where my little friend, the 50-50, comes into it. Because we got a lot of air gap, you want to turn this is approximately, according to that, 1100 RPM. Oh, that's good. Now you know why I wear gloves. The one time I didn't bring a spare piece of wood with me. We can live without that bit. Okay.
It'll be okay.
We'll live. Whoops. Thank you. So at this point, the grinding the bevel all the way around, so it won't cut any further. That's the nice thing about this particular grind. What I did wrong there was I put a little bit too much pressure forward, and it went forward in the air gap. The next time it hits, you're getting a judder. Your left hand is just, it's there just to keep this as firm as you can on the tool rest, and you don't want to apply a lot of feed pressure, because if you look at what we're cutting into, a lot of the time there's literally nothing there. In fact, there's more air gap than there is wood. So if you push too far this way, once it comes off this surface, it will go forward, and when that piece comes down, you get a hell of a thump. So it's all slow and steady wins the race. Now, if you really want, you can cut through the edge here and just leave two tiny, tiny little corners, and you get a nice little scallop between them. Or you can leave them square, because it's very, very difficult to see where that is when it's spinning. Still not quite, why I stopped it, I don't know, because you want to look at what you're doing. You stand here, you can see it perfectly, can't you? Damn it, Anna. As I'm getting closer, I'm turning the gouge so that the under bevel is touching as well, so I get a depth gauge in both directions, because this is equal all the way around. It's a nice cut. So I'm going to try and get a little more of a curve in here so we come up closer to the top. But this is more just an idea of a demonstration of technique. I'm not going for perfect finish here. I'm going to bring my own lights next time. So that'll do for the underside. So that is actually pretty well dead on. I was lucky. There we have one dovetail tenon, done very quickly. I know I'll put it somewhere intelligent. Alright, so now the first thing to do is match the outside to the inside. That's touching. Excellent. Now you'll notice I'm not taking huge cuts. That's because if you do, you rip the side off the thing. So we write down, that's coincidental, isn't it? We write down on the corners there. Unfortunately, we've got a little bit of tear out here. Now, I'm going to bring I've got the bottom as thin as I dare go. I didn't go any thinner than that because it's singing at me. So we can take this down until the circle, you know, there's just a little bit of a straight line here. We'll get rid of that. Alright, so that's the outside form. Got a circle all the way around here. Yeah, that's got some bumps on it, but that would be sandable. Now, you get the toe rest. So the cutting point ends up in the centre. How thin do you want to go, lads? You see that clever cut? Fred showed me that one. To keep it such a small hole, the keeping on the bevel is really difficult. So, as you're coming in, once you get to the turn at the bottom, you start climbing. So now you're on the bevel at the bottom of the gouge. You swing that across, and then just lift the butt up, and you can go. You've never come off the bevel, because as we all know, if you come off the bevel, it's a hell of a mess. So, if we get really serious about this, you know, we're 1 5/8 inches into a bowl that is, oh, I think I better stop now, because otherwise, when I take the tenon off, I could make the hole at the top bigger, but I rather like, you know, this. I haven't broken this edge. Right, we are now going to make a jam chuck. Now, I just took an old lump of wood and I put a tenon on one end of it. It's got a bloody great big split in it, and it's a nasty piece of wood. So I couldn't make anything decent out of it, but it can make a jam chuck. And that we know is centre, 1 3/16 out from that. There. I was wrong. It needs to be slightly bigger than that. should.
There's a selection though for
Yeah.
faster stop.
So, just a tad more, and that will fit perfectly. Now, I've seen people do it just by banging it in like that, and you know, it's just a tad off. We now put that there for safety. And again, this is where, because you've got this, oh, did I hit it? I'm sorry. Because you've got this great big thing here now, it makes some of the cuts a little bit more interesting. Again, this 50-50 grind, it makes it easier. Now this thing's starting to make me nervous. No, it's not. Seemed like a good idea this time. So you can pick up the bevel and raise the handle, bring the cutting edge down. See, I never would have thought of doing this. Polka.
Always polka.
Why always polka?
Because you're pushing here. Yeah, exactly. You see your learn.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm up here. I learn more up here than I do sitting down there. But I mean, basically, there you go. One, 10. You can make it the size of tea candles and have a wonderful little candle holder.
anytime.
You,
Very good, Nigel.
yeah. You're welcome, Jim.